You've been here before. The lights are low, the world is quiet, and your finger hovers over the remote. There are dozens of new shows waiting, plots you haven't seen, characters you don't know yet. But you scroll past it all and land, once again, on that one familiar title. You press play. You already know exactly what's going to happen. The joke before it lands, the swell of music, the line that still makes you feel something, no matter how many times you've heard it. And that's the point. To most people, it might look like mindless repetition, but you're not watching for entertainment. You're watching for safety. You're not stuck in the past. You visit it because it's the one place that never changes. This isn't laziness. It's your nervous system reaching for something predictable. You're not uncreative. You're exhausted. And this story, it's the only one that doesn't ask anything from you. You're not the only one. There's an entire quiet world of people who do this. People who return to the same episodes, the same scenes, the same comforting laugh tracks or closing credits. Not because they lack imagination, but because life feels loud, and these stories whisper back. You're not lazy. You're emotionally aware. The kind of person who feels everything deeply, who overthinks before bed, who holds on to conversations long after they're over. Rewatching gives your heart a place to rest. It's not about escaping reality. It's about softening it. Familiarity becomes a cushion. The same dialogue, the same pacing. It doesn't demand anything from you. You already know how it ends. Nothing unexpected will break you open. And here's the fascinating part. Your brain knows it's a rerun and still prefers it. There's real science behind that comforting pull. You're not broken. Your mind just found something that works. Let's talk about why. There's something your brain is doing, quietly, automatically, each time you rewatch a show you've already seen. It's called cognitive fluency. Simply put, your mind likes what it already understands. When the plot is familiar, there's no tension, no cognitive strain, no mental heavy lifting. It's ease. And ease, especially when the world feels hard, is not just sweet, it's essential. Then there's emotional regulation. Rewatching a favorite show reduces the demand on your nervous system. It lowers stress by offering predictable rhythms, familiar faces, and a storyline that holds no threat. You don't have to brace for impact. Your body recognizes this as safe terrain. A 2012 study published in the Journal of Consumer Research found that people often rewatch to restore mood and return to emotional balance. These aren't aimless distractions, they're rituals, like slipping into your favorite sweater, like visiting a friend who always understands. You're not escaping reality, you're stabilizing your emotional state within it. And the thing you keep coming back to? It works, because it speaks the language your nervous system trusts. For some, rewatching started in childhood, when the real world felt chaotic, but the worlds on screen never changed. Familiar shows became emotional wallpaper, background noise that softened the edges of loneliness, overstimulation, or things no child had language to explain. Characters became constants. Predictability became peace. If you've lived through trauma, upheaval, or simply too much unpredictability, rewatching stories isn't just comforting, it's a way to reclaim control. The plot never betrays you. It never shifts without warning. In a life where so much was uncertain, a rewatched episode offers what the real world couldn't: stability. For neurodivergent minds, especially those with ADHD or autism, it offers sanctuary. It's structure without surprise, emotion without overwhelm, connection without performance. To some, rewatching is laziness. To others, it's a lifeline. You're not mindlessly hitting play. You're responding to something your nervous system intuitively understands. And sometimes, without even realizing it, you're picking that one episode because it holds the exact feeling you couldn't name. Not just a show, but a mirror, a translator, a friend.
When the world is too unpredictable, sometimes the plot you've already seen is the best place to find peace. You're not addicted to a screen. You're loyal to the stories that stayed with you when nothing else did, the ones that caught you when no one noticed you were falling. You rewatch not out of boredom, but out of something softer, wiser, safety, familiarity, a sense of home. This isn't about wasting time. It's about revisiting the version of you that first needed that story, and maybe still does. The stories you return to are mirrors, not prisons. They remind you who you were and help you hold who you're becoming. You're not watching repeats, you're reconnecting with the parts of yourself that once found comfort there. Let's drop the guilt. This isn't nostalgia, it's neurobiology, and it's working. This is a quiet, personal ritual, a nervous system calming strategy dressed up as Netflix. And that's not weakness, that's wisdom. You knew how to soothe yourself before you even knew the science. Sometimes, rewatching isn't just about the story on screen, it's about the story inside you. Each return is a kind of quiet time travel, a reunion with the version of yourself who first needed that scene, that character, that safe ending. Maybe you watched it during a breakup, or when you moved cities, or during the heavy silence of burnout. That show carried you when you didn't have words for what you were feeling. And now, watching it again brings you back to the person who survived. In psychology, this is called identity continuity, a way of anchoring yourself across the chaos of change. What you're returning to isn't just entertainment, it's a memory, a milestone, a message from who you were. You're not stuck in the past, you're giving it peace. Because sometimes, when you rewatch a show, you're not just watching it, you're watching you. There's a gentle difference between hiding and healing, and maybe you've been doing the latter all along. Are you bored or just craving one thing in your life that doesn't change? Are you avoiding the world or simply creating space where your nervous system can breathe? You return to stories not because you're afraid to grow, but because even growth needs ground, and ground needs comfort. Sometimes the next chapter requires us to revisit the ones that saved us. What you've been calling a habit might actually be a form of grace. Your shows gave you that. If this felt like it described you, you're not alone. You're part of a quiet, sensitive group who finds meaning where others see only media. And in the next video, we're exploring why you get so emotionally attached to fictional characters, and why that's not only valid, but deeply rooted in real psychological wiring. What if your favorite comfort show isn't just entertainment, but emotional science in action? Come find out what your attachments say about your inner world, the longing they reflect, the needs they meet, and the healing they've been quietly guiding you toward all along.